So good morning everyone, welcome to Raj Malhotra's IAS. So guys, here we are about to start the session. Let me just share the link with the other students. So guys, today we are conducting your first class of current affairs batch. It is scheduled at 10 a.m. in the morning and we will try to complete this session as early as possible. तो हमें ये सेशन थोड़ा जल्दी ख़त्म करना पड़ेगा सो दैट वी कैन कंटिन्यू विद दैट सेशन. ओके, आई होप यू गाइस आर डूइंग वेल इन योर लाइफ. चलिए, सो रोहित, चेतु, यमनदीप, विकी, अंशुल, गुड मॉर्निंग. चलिए, सो सफिशिएंट नंबर ऑफ पीपल हैव ऑलरेडी जॉइंड अस. लेट्स सी व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज देयर फॉर अस इन टुडेज न्यूज़पेपर. देखते हैं आज के अखबार में क्या खास है. So first we'll start with this quote, and Abraham Lincoln, he is saying that those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. Okay, those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. Now you need to understand one thing: who is denying the freedom? When the first statement is being added that someone is denying the freedom, I am saying that who is denying the freedom. So you need to be very careful about it, because this denying of freedom is related to whatever discrimination that is being done in this society. Indian society में जितने भी discrimination की practices हैं, all those are denying the freedoms. So be it when I cover patriarchy, चाहे मैं patriarchy की बात करूँ, okay, it is also denying of freedom. When I talk about discrimination based on caste, based on religion, that is also, you can say, denying of freedom. वो भी denying of freedom है. So this is what you need to understand. You have to link it with the present society, and the point is, it is saying that deserve it not for themselves. What it is demanding is that to deal with these type of tendencies, it is important that government should act, that government की तरफ से effort करना ज़रूरी है, that without the government's effort we cannot expect things to improve. There are a lot of different things that is to be done. There need to be provision for law, and that law should be implemented in letter and spirit. कानून भी होना चाहिए, okay, and that is implemented in letter and spirit. This is what is required right now. This is what this statement is meaning, that you have to make sure that those who are doing this thing, they need to be checked. They need to be checked. You cannot give them free hand to work as they are working. This is the major point that you have to understand. It is also in line with the authoritarian tendencies that are there in the government. तो अगर गवर्नमेंट के अंदर अथॉरिटेरियन टेंडेंसीज आ जाती हैं, ओके, एट दैट टाइम एज वेल इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट दैट वी ट्राई टू curtail those authoritarian tendencies by taking help from the Indian Constitution. You have to implement that Indian Constitution. You have to uphold the value of constitutionalism. तो जब आप constitutionalism की वैल्यू को uphold करोगे, okay, the value of constitutionalism, it primarily means limiting the government. गवर्नमेंट को लिमिट करने की बात की जा रही है यहाँ पे, okay. It primarily means limiting the government, that you cannot give free hand, absolute hand to the bureaucracy. This is what it means. This is what Abraham Lincoln wanted to say, okay. So let's move to the major section, that is the detailed analysis of the Hindu. तो इसको थोड़ा डिटेल में ही देखते हैं अब क्या है यहाँ पे, ओके. सो एज यू कैन सी ऑन द स्क्रीन, फर्स्ट आई विल पिक अप द मेजर पेज. सीधा मेजर पेज के ऊपर जाएंगे, ओके. सो हेयर वी हैव द मेजर पेज बिहाइंड मी. सो IMF cuts India's growth forecast to 6.8% this year. So like different agencies are coming out with their data, okay. तो इसमें कुछ नया नहीं है. You already know the things that IMF is saying. आपको ऑलरेडी मालूम है, you already know the reasons why this issue is there, okay, why India is facing this particular problem. So they are saying, IMF is saying that at present majorly 3 reasons I have mentioned, okay. So one is Ukraine war, then high record inflation is going on, because of that as well global economy is slowing down, okay. Inflation जबरदस्त चल रहा है and global economy, okay, it is not picking up, as global economy is not picking up, it is down. It means that exports, okay, export potential for India will be less. We won't be getting orders. Your companies will not be getting opportunities to export the product. This is one point here. This is one point. Other reason that they are saying that this is also an after effect of the pandemic, okay, because these effects are not going to get over in 1 year or 2 years. It may take 3 to 4 years to completely revive. That's the major point here. So all these things are contributing in the present global slowdown, and India is also linked with that. But this IMF report is also mentioning about few bright spots, that if you see in totality the overall scenario that is there, it is also saying that India is doing fairly well. ठीक ठाक चीजें यहाँ पे कर रहा है इंडिया. That's the point here. Other point that IMF report is making is this, that worst is yet to come. आने वाले टाइम में भी worst आने वाला है, वो भी हमें यहाँ पे ध्यान रखना होगा. Okay, so we have to be prepared for the turbulence that will be there in the global economy. Things are not going to turn friendly for us in the near future. Okay, so we need to be prepared by that. Now, what exactly can your government do? The point here is this: we cannot leave any opportunity to attract the investment. आपको हर कीमत पे investment चाहिए यहाँ पे. Okay, so this is the time to bring in more reforms and to further improve your ranking in ease of doing business. Okay, or you analyze the parameters, you identify the loopholes that were there, you try to remove those loopholes, those problems. वो चीजें हमें यहाँ पे थोड़ी बहुत ठीक करने की जरूरत है, because without doing that we cannot attract investment. So सबसे यही चीज हम उम्मीद लगा सकते हैं. Okay, so let's move to the another news. So another news is regarding this human sacrifice in Kerala. 2 women killed, okay, couple among 3 persons held. Now you need to understand one thing. We have been independent from last 75 years. Okay, so your constitution has been in place, आपका constitution भी आ चुका है, and your fundamental duties, okay, one of your fundamental duty, it asks the citizen to develop scientific temper. हमारे यहाँ पे fundamental duty भी है जो कहती है कि हमें scientific temper develop करना है. But these type of events, they show that things are not right. Absolutely things are not right, because superstition, if people are moving in this direction and up to this particular event, that you end up killing someone, that is not going to be acceptable at all. It means that fundamentally there are some problems in the system. So one of the major problem that has been identified is this: we don't have a specific law dealing with human sacrifice or anti superstition activities. आपको वो चीज facilitate करनी है so that you can stop the superstitions. So here we don't have a specific law. Now your Indian penal code, there are some provisions, but it is not equipped to take care of the crimes committed on the account of black magic and other practices. That's the point here. मर्डर के केस में 302 लगेगा. 302 के अंदर मोटिव प्रूव करना होता है. ओके, मोटिव क्या है क्राइम का. But here you need to understand one thing: motive is entirely different. Here motive is entirely different, because someone is taking life of some other person for black magic. That's the point here. So here we do have a state specific law. So like we have a Maharashtra implemented something called Maharashtra Prevention and Eradication of Human Sacrifice and Other Inhuman, Evil and Aghori Practices and Black Magic Act 2013. So right now you have a state specific law. The point here that we are making is this: this is the time we need to have a national debate on this particular issue, and we can opt for a national level law. तो एक national level provision की आपको यहाँ पे जरूरत है. This is the point here. Okay, this is what you need to understand. So ये आज की डेट की requirement है जो हमें यहाँ पे समझनी होगी. Okay, so we'll move to the next news. Next news on this particular page is regarding RTI, right to information. Okay, so here there are few things that are being pointed out, that at present 3 lakh, more than 3 lakh applications are pending. 3 लाख से ज़्यादा applications pending है यहाँ पे. Okay, so it means that the system is not able to address the demand for information, because people are filing these RTIs, people are seeking the information. The fault is at the end of administration. If 3 lakh pendencies are there, This is what you need to understand. Okay, so this analysis was done by Satark Nagarik Sangathan. Okay, it is sort of an NGO or civil society organization. तो इन्होंने कुछ information data extract किया है and they came out with this thing that no doubt RTI has been a liberator. RTI has facilitated transparency in the system. Okay, तो transparency तो जरूर RTI लेके आया है, but still there are some issues that are there and improvement can be done. So there is some scope for improvement. Okay, scope for improvement तो है, there is no doubt about it. Now I am telling you this particular point that RTI has been a significant player in democratic setup of India because it has specifically empowered the citizen of this country. जरूर empowerment तो हुई है citizen की. Okay, because here it has changed the power balance. Power balance in the sense, earlier it used to be stated that bureaucracy is too powerful, but here the tool is in the hand of citizen. They can seek information and bureaucracy is definitely, you can say, fearful of that. Bureaucracy को डर लगता है and RTI also promotes voluntary disclosure of information. तो अलग अलग departments अपनी website के ऊपर आप information डालेंगे. Okay, that's the provision which is there in RTI and there is a suo motu release. कोई information आपसे seek करे ना करे, but आप यहाँ पे suo motu release करेंगे information का. That's the point your RTI is facilitating. But if these pendencies are there, it means that the spirit of the law is missing. अगर वाकई इस तरीके की pendencies रहेंगी, कहीं ना कहीं implementation में गड़बड़ है. Okay, and this problem is not just confined to RTI law in this country. It is said that Indians are really good at policy making और law making. हमारे पास हर चीज के लिए कानून है, हर चीज के लिए पॉलिसी बना लेते हैं हम लोग, बहुत अच्छे हम लोग डिबेट डिस्कशन करने में, but when it comes to the implementation, we are really bad. That's the, you can say, point here. Okay, so it is not just confined to the RTI. It is, you can say, a general trend that we are observing. So we need to change it. Okay, we need to focus on implementation. Now when we look into the RTI, what's the problem? इसके अंदर problem क्या है? So the major problem is this vacancies. Now you expect state information commission to be there, you expect central information commission to be there, but the point is this: if you are not appointing people, if you are not appointing functionaries in those commission, they will not be able to perform, they will not be able to work, and that's the major problem here. So it has been observed that the posts for, you can say, commissioner rank in those commissions has remained vacant for multiple years. बहुत लंबे टाइम तक वो पोजीशन जो है वो वैकेंट रही है और ये चीज हमें यहाँ पे इंप्रूव करनी है. अदर पॉइंट इज दिस, वी ब्रॉट दिस RTI लॉ बट वी डिडंट केयर अबाउट द बजटरी प्रोविजन फॉर द इंप्लीमेंटेशन. देखिए, आप कोई कानून अगर लेके आते हैं तो उसको इंप्लीमेंट करने की एक कॉस्ट होती है, कीमत होती है. क्या RTI के अंदर उसका अरेंजमेंट है? नो. वी ब्रॉट दिस लॉ एंड देयर इज नो अरेंजमेंट दैट वाज स्पेसिफाइड टू facilitate the funding for implementation. पैसा तो चाहिए ना implement करने के लिए. There we are lagging behind. So these are the issues that we have to address. Apart from that, you have to create awareness, because when we look into the RTI, okay, there is a complete gender biased in the sense that if you compare the RTI applicants, majority of them are male. Majority in the sense that 85 to 90% of the applications are filed by the male. That's the point here. So you have to make sure that it is more inclusive. Women and other sections of the society, they are also participating in this model of governance. This is what we demand. Okay, then only we can say that RTI is looking up to, you can say, living up to its expectation. तभी हम बोल सकते हैं. Now there are some more things that you have to understand. Other point is this: there is a state level variation. Each and every state is not performing uniformly. Okay, different states are performing differently, so you can definitely address issue in a state specific way. तो आप वो चीज भी कर सकते हो. Other point is this: only 5% of all position in the commissions are being occupied by the women. The representation of women is not there. So there also we need to address. ये चीज भी हमें मेजरली यहाँ पे एड्रेस करने की जरूरत है. There is another point. Now if an officer is not giving the information in a timely manner, किसी ने RTI फाइल की और सामने से ऑफिसर जो है वो टाइमली मैनर में इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं दे रहा है, इन दैट प्रोविजन, इन दैट केस देयर इज अ प्रोविजन फॉर पेनल्टीज. ओके, तो पर डे के हिसाब से पेनल्टी लगेगी एंड देयर इज अपर लिमिट 25,000 के राउंड अपर लिमिट है, इतना जो है पेनल्टी उस ऑफिसर के ऊपर लग जाएगा. But the point here is this: Commission did not impose penalties in 95% of the cases. Wherever there is a delay, okay, in 95% of the cases the penalties are not imposed. Now it means that it is sending a wrong message. So the people who are not taking RTI seriously, they will keep on doing that. वो वैसे के वैसे ही करते रहेंगे, वो इस चीज को seriously लेंगे ही नहीं. And who will pay the price? नुकसान किसका होगा? It will be the people, okay, citizen of the country who will bear the, you can say, price for that. तो नुकसान जनता का होता है. So we need to look into this aspect as well. The person who is delaying the information, the administration have to be serious about it, okay. So at the district level, when we look into the implementation of RTI, तो district level पे district collector की responsibility हम डाल सकते हैं कि district collector should have the responsibility to take care of implementation of RTI in different departments at the district level. This provision can be done, okay. ये एक suggestion है second administrative reform commission का, it can be implemented. So this is the point here, okay. So we will now directly move to the editorial section. सीधा editorial section के ऊपर चलेंगे, देखेंगे क्या है आज का editorial में, okay. So here we have this editorial, solutions by the people for the people, okay. So here this editorial is basically questioning the present model of development that we have, okay. So आपका आज का जो model of development है उसको जरूर क्वेश्चन करने की जरूरत है, okay. That's the major point. You have to question the present model of development. This is what this article is discussing. It is saying that we do have, you can say, private sector, we do have corporate sector, entrepreneurs are there, we are encouraging startups to come up, okay. But primarily what they are seeking is profit, and to have profit in their mind, okay, like it will be dominating their thought process, and the system will be like this, that they will not care about ecology and other concerns. This is the bad culture that we are propagating in this system, because we have designed this system in such a way. Major focus is just on profitability. That's the drawback that we have in the present time. So we need to change the ecosystem. पूरा का पूरा ecosystem आपको यहाँ पे बदलना पड़ेगा. You have to change, you have to think out of the box, you have to devise thing that what is the true definition of development, क्या वाकई development की definition क्या है. Because at present if you see, major focus is just on pursuit of GDP, that you undermine the importance of environment and other things. Now here the Club of Rome, when the first time, you can say, the climate change and other things were discussed at the international level, it pointed out about one thing, that we can include some components related to environment as well while calculating the GDP. That you are carrying out some destruction to the earth, you are destroying the ecology, you are damaging the ecology. So the equivalent amount, the cost of that damage also needs to be included in the GDP. अगर आपको GDP calculate करना भी है तो भी आपको calculations इस type की होंगी, that you need to look into the damage that we have caused to the environment while calculating the GDP. That's the point here, okay. We need to incorporate adherence to the respect to the nature, respect to the ecology, respect for protecting the environment in your ease of doing business. तो अगर हम ease of doing business लेके आते हैं, so we never incorporate environment related parameters in our calculations. हम कभी भी वो parameters नहीं लेके आते हैं. So this is what this editorial is saying, that this whole system is flawed, that if you are not incorporating environment related aspect in your calculations, that's the wrong message, that's the wrong thing, because here you will not even care about these things, okay. Other point that is being raised in this system is this: in 2008 we experienced global financial crisis, and it completely exposed the insufficiently regulated markets that we have. That if we think that privatization, market economy is the solution for everything, that approach is wrong, because we cannot undermine the importance of government. That market needs to be regulated. Who will regulate the market? The prime responsibility rests with the public sector, with your government. The government will have the responsibility to take care of the vulnerable sections of the society. The government will have the responsibility to go for the social sector spending, तो सोशल सेक्टर स्पेंडिंग सरकार को करनी पड़ेगी, प्राइवेट सेक्टर नहीं करेगा. ओके, तो दिस इज द मेजर पॉइंट, बिकॉज प्राइवेट सेक्टर विल वर्क इन ओनली इन दोज एरियाज विच आर प्रॉफिटेबल. अब गरीब जनता के पास पैसा नहीं है तो कौन स्पेंड करेगा? गवर्नमेंट को स्पेंड करना पड़ेगा. दैट्स द मेजर पॉइंट हियर. ओके, बट वी आर at present working on the design of something called minimum government. But the point here is this: we do have this idea of minimum government. It means that minimum government should be utilized in establishing the regulatory agencies. Okay, तो आपको minimum government जो करनी है, ठीक है, regulatory agencies बनाइए. Okay, give them some power. Those regulatory agencies are required to be given some additional powers so that they can regulate the system. This is what is required right now. This is what is the requirement of the present time. So we know that today, like people will say market economy honi chahiye, government should minimize the intervention. Okay, I do agree with you, but who will deal with the negative externalities? इसके कुछ एक नेगेटिव पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू भी होते हैं. ओके, नेगेटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटीज के साथ कौन डील करेगा? एंड व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय नेगेटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटीज? से बैड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस, इट विल सेंड अ रॉन्ग मैसेज टू द सोसाइटी. अब कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस अच्छे से नहीं हो रहा है तो सोसाइटी खराब चीजें लर्न करेगी. अदर पॉइंट इज दिस: these industries, some of them are dumping their waste in the water bodies. Pollution कर रहे हैं, धुआं कर रहे हैं. That's the point here. So that's the negative externalities. They will not be interested in doing that because they have to invest some money. भाई वो तो अपने प्रॉफिट मार्जिन के लिए काम करते हैं ना. अगर आप उनको एक्सपेक्ट करोगे कि दे विल एस्टेब्लिश अ सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट प्लांट, ओके, सो दे वोंट डू दैट बिकॉज इट विल रिक्वायर सम एडिशनल कैपिटल. तो वो उनका मोटिव नहीं है. दिस इज व्हाट गवर्नमेंट हैव टू लुक इनटू. सो एट प्रेजेंट द मॉडल दैट वी वांट द सिस्टम टू हैव इज people, planet and profit. Okay, so profit making is not bad, but here they have to keep in mind they have the responsibility towards the people, they have the responsibility towards the planet, and this culture have to be developed by the governments. Okay, that's the major point. So here they are saying that these problems are existing, and this editorial is coming out with the 5-track solution for this. So they say that focus should be on ending poverty. Poverty को address कीजिए आप. You need to address the inequality that is there. You have to focus on empowering women. You have to make sure that food system is healthy for the people. And the next point is transitioning to the clean energy. This is what is required right now. This should be the model that should be adopted in different sectors, in different areas. And here this editorial is saying that India is going to host G20. It means that we will have a major role in setting up the agenda for the discussion, and this is the point they are making, that India can point towards these particular solutions. India can make consensus, India can bring people, can bring the different countries together on these particular areas. आप इन issues को लेके तो West और जो बाकी divided world है उनको सबको साथ ला सकते हो. That's the major point here. And the whole world is looking up to India right now. There is also a reason for that, because India does command a respect among the Western world as well as among the countries like Russia and China. कि दोनों पार्टीज हमें कहीं ना कहीं रिस्पेक्ट करती हैं, तो इंडिया ही है जो एक मीडिएटर का रोल प्ले कर सकता है. India can build the consensus on these particular issues. This is what the point is. So we do understand at present the global governance is being completely fragmented, broken है. Western countries अलग सोच रहे हैं यूक्रेन रशिया वॉर की वजह से. Russia and China, they are thinking differently. Okay, so here is an opportunity for India that we can play that role. We can really bind the whole world together on these particular issues. That's the major point here. Okay, so we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं. So here we have this another editorial which is pointing towards an important issue. See, the suicides are increasing in this country. So this is this NCRB data which show that suicides, you can say the number is 1,64,000. Okay, like this is the number, that this is the people who have died because of suicide. Now there could be multiple reasons for suicides. Okay, in this particular country बहुत सारे reason हो सकते हैं. So right now the debate is around, is technology responsible for it? क्या वाकई technology responsible है? Is social media responsible for it? Okay, क्या social media वाकई responsible है? Because you need to understand, some of the suicides did happen because of cyberbullying and all. People are conscious about their cyber identity. वो अपनी साइबर आइडेंटिटी को लेके, सोशल आइडेंटिटी को लेके बहुत कॉन्शियस हैं, मेरे फॉलोअर्स इतने हैं, मेरे फॉलोअर्स इतने हैं. दिस इज व्हाट पीपल आर कंपीटिंग फॉर, एंड दिस इज अ रॉन्ग ट्रेंड, because here it is, they are taking a mental toll, it is impacting their mental health. That's the wrong thing here. So we do have an issue like cyber bullying. Okay, तो cyber bullying को लेके तो हमें डील करना ही करना है, and specifically the vulnerable sections include women and children. Okay, तो बच्चे, women and adolescents, they are the major, you can say, target sections, and we have to make sure that there is should be some provision to stop cyber bullying. ये जो ट्रोलिंग का कल्चर है वो वाकई हमें स्टॉप करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज दैट्स नॉट द राइट वे. सोशल मीडिया प्राइमरीली व्हेन इट केम आउट, इट वाज अ डेमोक्रेटाइजिंग टूल. ओके, तो सोशल मीडिया इनिशियली तो डेमोक्रेटाइज करने के लिए आया था, बट द वे थिंग्स आर गोइंग राइट नाउ, इट इज सर्टेनली रॉन्ग. ये सोसाइटी को डेमोक्रेटाइज नहीं कर रहा है, डैमेज कर रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ दीज पर्टिकुलर थिंग्स. इज टेक्नोलॉजी बैड? सर्टेनली नॉट. सो दीज आर सम स्पेसिफिक थिंग्स दैट वी हैव टू एड्रेस हियर. इन चीजों को जरूर हमें यहां पे एड्रेस करना है. ओके, देयर वर सम गेम्स रिलेटेड टू सुसाइड एज वेल, ब्लू व्हेल चैलेंज. Some of the youth, they ended their life in that particular game as well. So we need to deal with those particular specific things. पूरी टेक्नोलॉजी को आप ब्लेम नहीं कर सकते. Along with that, you have to pay attention to one more important aspect, that we need to develop our people mentally capable enough to understand these things. So government needs to assure that their mental health needs to be addressed, and certainly you have to create awareness about the mental issues in the society, because right now awareness regarding mental issues are certainly not there. Okay, so mental issues की अगर हम बात करते हैं, depression की अगर हम बात करते हैं, so awareness is not there. People are not even aware that they are in depression. लोगों को मालूम ही नहीं होता इस चीज को लेके. So this is what is very important for us. Okay, so yes, we have to deal with cyberbullying. Other problem is loss of self-esteem due to social media, extreme binge watching of online content. People are consuming the online content regularly. They may be consuming the negative online content which will impact their mental state. So we have to make sure that the good quality content is also available on the internet. क्या चीज वहां पे आ रहा है, क्या नहीं आ रहा है, वो चीजों को अच्छे से रेगुलेट करने की जरूरत है. That's the point here. So at the end of the day, it is being concluded that you cannot blame technology for that. It all depends upon how we are using it. So rather, we need to equip the hands which are handling that technology. Create awareness among masses. That's the point here. Make sure that you need to have a policy where family members do have a role in that, because the issue like mental issues and other problems, okay, it is all curable with the help of family only. ये कोई दवाई देके ठीक नहीं होती है. Okay, because you have to create an environment in which the person has to live, and that environment can only be sustained with the help of family. This is the important point that we have to understand. So we can have a policy. Without that, you can say आप इसको ठीक नहीं कर सकते हो, अच्छे से डील नहीं कर सकते. Okay, so this is what was there in these two editorials. So now this is the other editorial that we will be looking into. Okay, so reading the Chinese leaves, tea leaves. Okay, so there are some developments that are taking place in China right now. So the present developments, it points towards one thing, that Mr. Xi Jinping, okay, Mr. Xi Jinping is seriously gaining the ground here. So Mr. Xi Jinping is having the control on the Communist Party of China right now. And what does it portray to us? क्या message है इससे? The major message is this. It means that the policy in China, okay, towards India, so whatever policy they have towards India, it is not going to change, it will remain the same. It will remain the same. This is the message that we have to understand. It primarily means that China will keep on asserting in the border areas. So you have to prepare yourself with this. China will keep on creating trouble for you in your border areas, in your neighborhood. So you have to prepare for all these things. If China is increasing the investment in your neighborhood, you have to match it up. If individually you cannot do, you have to seek friends from your, you have to seek help from your friends. That's the point here. सो इतना ही मैसेज है, चीजें बदलने वाली नहीं है. यू हैव टू कीप स्ट्रेंथनिंग योर आर्म्ड फोर्सेस, स्पेसिफिकली नेवी एंड आर्मी, as well as air force, okay, because air force is also not in good shape. Whenever we talk about differences with China, we have to prepare ourselves for a two front war. So it is important that we need to focus on modernizing our armed forces. Without doing that, we cannot specifically deal with the Chinese challenge, as simple as that. They will keep on meddling, creating trouble for you in your neighborhood. Neighborhood में अपने influence को तो China बढ़ाने की कोशिश करेगा ही करेगा. You have to just match it up. हमारे पास कोई चॉइस भी नहीं है. You have to live with a neighbor which is very powerful, which is having a strong armed forces and which is expanding. This is the challenge that we have to deal with. Okay, so there is no choice for that, because in the coming years things are going to remain as it is. चीजें कुछ भी बदलने वाली नहीं है. Okay, so that was the point. So Ashoka Vijayadashmi controversy, it was regarding one Aam Aadmi Party minister getting converted into Buddhism. Okay, it was a big event at that time, means few days back, and like now he has to resign. It became a political issue. But the point that we have to understand here, that is this conversion helping the people? Certainly not. I hope you remember this thing. Few days back there was a commission formed by the government under retired Justice Balakrishnan to look into this aspect, whether the SC status can be extended to Muslims or Christians, means SCs, those who converted to Christianity or Muslims. Those two converted to Christianities or Muslims, okay, SC converts, can we give them the SC status? This is what they are going to debate right now. See, the point here is this: the caste system is so, you can say, present in the minds of our people that despite the conversion they regularly feel discrimination. उसके बाद भी equality नहीं आती है, discrimination फिर भी होता है. That's the point here. Okay, so that was the thing, and they are following the path of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So he also got converted into Buddhism. Okay, so other than that, this is what we have to discuss. So एक और चीज हम यहाँ पे discuss करेंगे, like meeting on labor codes failed to evolve a consensus. Okay, so this meeting was being carried out. Okay, we brought these labor codes, primarily it was seen as a remarkable reform. Okay, because whenever we had this discussion, why investment doesn't come to India, कि भी इंडिया में इन्वेस्टमेंट क्यों नहीं आता, one of the issue that was raised by that, India's labor laws, okay, they were very complex. So we had a complex labor laws. Those labor laws were now confined into 4 labor codes. Okay, तो 29 के अराउंड कुछ लॉज थे, कॉम्प्लेक्स लॉज थे, उनको सिंप्लीफाई करके they have been now converted into 4 labor codes. Okay, but the point here is this: there are some differences over the implementation of these codes. This is what a major issue right now, because the trade unions right now, they are opposing these particular, you can say, developments. So government is still failing to make consensus. We are still failing, you can say, to bring these particular codes in implementation. Some of the states, they have brought these codes into implementation. कुछ states ने तो अपने यहाँ पे laws को simplify कर लिया है. Okay, that's the point. So this is a major logic. So one student is asking Syed Atyab, why Navy? Okay, that why India should focus on strengthening its Navy. See, I hope you forget about few things, that Chinese Navy is having its presence in the Indian Ocean. One of the spy ship of China, it was docked in Sri Lanka. In 2013, a nuclear armed submarine of Chinese Navy, it was docked in Colombo port. Okay, so it means that Chinese will keep on having their presence in the Indian Ocean. Other point is this: in the name of protecting their commercial vessels from pirates, okay, in the name of protecting their commercial vessels from pirates, they are already present in the Arabian Sea. So trouble is around you. Excuse me. So trouble is already present in your waters. So you need to have a strong navy to deal with this. Another point is this: India is aspiring to be a world power. Suppose we want to do some action in the Pacific Ocean. For that we need to have the capacity. Right now you are operating just one aircraft carrier. अभी तो आप एक aircraft carrier से चल रहे हो. Okay, so it means that we need to have more. अगर आपके ऐसे एम्बिशन है दैट यू वांट टू डू सम एक्शन इन द पैसिफिक और यू वांट टू गो फॉर जॉइंट पेट्रोलिंग विद यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स नेवी, उनके साथ मिलकर काम करना है, तो बेसिक पॉइंट इज दिस, यू नीड टू डेवलप योर कैपेसिटी एज वेल. बिना कैपेसिटी के आप चीज नहीं कर पाओगे. ओके, दैट्स द पॉइंट. एंड व्हेन वी लुक इनटू द इंडियाज नेबरहुड, इंडिया एस्पायर इटसेल्फ टू बी अ नेट सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइडर. अगर हम अपने आसपास की बात करें तो हमारे पास ये डॉक्ट्रिन है which says that India aspires to be a net security provider in the region. Now you won't be a security provider if you are not having a means strong navy. That's the point, because other countries, they will not rely on you, they will not trust you, they will not trust your capabilities. तो बाकी countries आपको seriously लेंगे ही नहीं. That's the point here. That's why we need to strengthen our navy. Okay, so we'll move to the next part. Next अगली news पे चलते हैं, देखते हैं और क्या है. So here on this particular page, okay, I guess multiple things have already been completed. So Modi ji has inaugurated a Mahakal corridor. Okay, so to develop Ujjain and other the neighboring areas as a tourist attraction. So काफ़ी अच्छा है ये कॉरिडोर बनाया गया है. From the tourism point of view, it's a really good thing. Okay, so non-traditional livelihood skilling of girls included in Beti Padhao schemes. Okay, so now the government will also be focusing on non-traditional livelihood, that is providing skills to the girls, to the students in the non-traditional, you can say, areas as well. तो ट्रेडिशनल की बात करें तो मतलब प्राइमरीली एग्रीकल्चर. नॉन ट्रेडिशनल मीन्स दैट अदर देन दैट in other sectors you will be providing skills to the girls. That's the point here. So it will be including the vocational training and all. तो इसके अंदर vocational training वगैरह के ऊपर focus होगा. Okay, so here Chandrachud nominated as the next Chief Justice of India. Okay, he's going to be the 50th Chief Justice and his name has been nominated. So he's going to stay in the office for you can say for a couple of years, 2 years तक ये रहने वाले हैं. He will be retiring in November 2024. 2 years is a significant time, and the person is also capable enough to bring differences in the judicial system. So at present your system requires some of the reforms, and we expect him to play that role. Excuse me. चलिए, so we'll move to the next. UN Secretary General PM to launch an initiative on environment in Gujarat. Okay, so here we have this news. Basically whatever they are going to inaugurate, it is linked with the lifestyle for environment initiative that was announced by India. Okay, so lifestyle for environment initiative, this is not just, you can say, confined to India. ये global initiative है. Okay, so this idea of life, that is lifestyle for environment, it was introduced by India during the climate change conference of, you can say, in Glasgow in 2021. The idea is this: we need to promote environmentally conscious lifestyle. That's the most important thing here, because right now if you see our lifestyle, the overall developmental model that we have, that is completely based on consumerism. Okay, तो ले दे के हम हर क्या कर क्या रहे हैं, हम कंज्यूमर हैं. So that consumerism is not right. This is a wrong model, because consumerism means that the person who is having money, he can buy anything even if it is not required. So here in this particular initiative, we expect people to be mindful, that there should be mindful and deliberate utilization of the resources. You have to minimize the wasteful consumptions. Minimize करना है आपको अपने consumption को, wasteful नहीं होने देना है. That's the point here. And here also, where also, like we want to promote a circular economy. हम यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं एक circular economy को promote करना चाहते हैं. Circular economy primarily means you will be promoting reuse. Okay, reuse को भी आपको promote करना है, because at present what's the system? You use it and you just throw it in the dustbin, you dispose it. So here we want a culture which promotes reusing the things. That's the point here. Okay, that's the point here. This is what the idea. Okay, so one student has a doubt: sir didn't understand the SC converted related concept. Okay, see, the point is this: देखो होता क्या है, there are communities which are discriminated. Okay, so SC community, primarily this issue is related to the Hindu religion. Okay, caste system and all, it is very much associated with the Hinduism. The point is this, some, you can say, communities, some people who are being discriminated, they think that if they convert to different religion, okay, if they convert to different religion, say Christianity, okay, or say Islam, so discrimination will stop, that society will stop discriminating against them and they will be treated as equals. But this doesn't happen at all, that even after being converted to Christianity or Islam, the society keeps on discriminating against them. Even within the Christianity or even within the Islam, people will start discriminating, they will not be treated as equals. That's the point here, that if after conversion they were thinking that their social status will be improved, but nothing is developing, कुछ भी वैसा नहीं हो रहा है, okay, कुछ भी वैसा नहीं हो रहा है. So at present what they are demanding, that we are still being persecuted, we are still being discriminated, at least give the benefit, give the SC status to us, आप हमें SC status दे दीजिए. This is what they are demanding, because it is going to bring some benefits, reservation related benefits. Okay, that's the point here. So ये चीज वो demand कर रहे हैं. Clear? Is it clear? चलिए, that was the point. So we'll move to the international page, सीधा international page पे चलते हैं, and this is the news that we have. Israel and Lebanon, they reach an agreement on maritime border. Okay, so as you can see, they had this dispute related to the gas field. उस area के अंदर अच्छी खासी gas है. Okay, it's a, you can say, both the countries, they want to exploit it, their maritime boundaries, they do overlap, and it was a dispute. So here it was regarding the Karish gas field, and they have reached an agreement. Okay, because earlier Israel was insisting that the whole area belongs to Israel, and Israel also has a might. Israel के पास काफी strong forces हैं in that particular region. So Israel wanted to dominate, but here with the discussion and all, they have concluded this agreement that both the countries, they will be sharing some things. Okay, now you need to understand one thing. Here is a prelims 2021 question in front of you. So prelims का एक ये सवाल है जो आपके सामने आया है. The term Levant, often heard in news, roughly corresponds to which of the following? The term Levant, roughly heard in news, corresponds to which of the following? Okay, so the answer to this question is that region along the eastern Mediterranean shores. Eastern Mediterranean shores की यहाँ पे बात हुई है. When we look into the eastern Mediterranean shores, primarily it is talking about modern day Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria and other areas. This is what the point is. So this area will always remain in news. In one way or the other, UPSC will try to ask you a question. So here it was not a direct question. So they asked this thing, the term Levant, which is used for which of the following areas. So ये इस तरीके के challenge UPSC लेके आता रहेगा. Okay, that's the point here. So here this is what we have covered. Okay, so आगे चलते हैं, this international page. Okay, so G7 vows support for Ukraine. Vladimir Putin, he is meeting the UAE president. Okay, but Putin साहब किसी की सुनने के वाले हैं. Okay, this is what the point is. So he's acting like a, you can say, Salman Khan. एक बार मैंने commitment कर ली तो फिर मैं अपने आप की भी नहीं सुनता. This is what he is thinking. Okay, so he is not going to stop. So let's move to the next part. So ministry is urged to shun the inflated demands for funds. अब देखिए ये एक बड़ी समस्या है यहाँ पे, और ये सिर्फ यहाँ की समस्या नहीं है. Look into the nature of bureaucracy. अगर हम bureaucracy के nature को देखेंगे, okay. Now bureaucracy by nature is expansionist. हमारी ब्यूरोक्रेसी को हर चीज एक्सपैंड करने में मजा आता है, चाहे बजट हो तो भी एक्सपैंड. So this is how the system works. Different departments and different ministries, they will always ask for inflated amount. Okay, if you look into this aspect, proposals that they are going to send to the Ministry of Finance, जिस टाइप का proposal वो भेजेंगे finance ministry के पास, they will always ask something extra. हमेशा टेंडेंसी ये है कि कुछ एक्स्ट्रा वो लेके रहेंगे. So suppose if the requirement is say 400 crores, they will ask for 600 crores. 600 करोड़ मांगेंगे तब फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री उनको 300 करोड़ देगी. This is what they think, and this is what has been pointed out in PAC, Public Accounts Committee, that they should stop these type of activities. Be realistic. The demands from different departments have to be realistic because it disturbs the overall calculation. सारी कैलकुलेशन ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक हो जाती है, किसी को पता ही नहीं लगता कि रियलिटी में डिमांड कितनी है. So if next year if you are planning something, it won't be possible. That's the point here. Okay, so this is what this news is making, that ministry is urging them तो भाई छोड़ दो, ये जबरदस्ती की inflated demands ठीक नहीं है. ठीक है जी, that was the point here. Other than that there is nothing much on this particular page. So guys, I do have a session at 10 a.m. okay, which is the current affairs batch that we are going to start. So I have to wind up this session. So that's it for the day. Thank you very much.